My name is Jackson Shaw and I run product management at One Identity. So basically my role is to work with the product managers on my team and the developers to build the best possible products we can. I think there's three main reasons. One is compliance, another is security, and one that I think is upcoming, but as important is digital transformation. And basically around these three areas, identity access management is central. So for compliance, for providing reporting and understanding what people have access to and should they have access to it and monitoring that. From a security perspective, very similar, but also who gets access to things from outside the company, inside the company, what files can people access. Almost every one of the breaches that we read about has something to do with security from the perspective of accounts not deleted or administrative access that's been stolen, those kind of things. And then the last point, and I think which is one of the most interesting ones right now, is digital transformation, which for most customers, and certainly for us as a vendor, is about how identity and access management can help contribute to the top line revenue of a company rather than just be an expense. So how do we flip things around and turn this kind of a solution into a revenue generator for a company, which is both a challenge and also very rewarding for anybody in this business. So an example of a company that's going through a digital transformation would be anybody that's trying to build or change their interaction with their end customers by using the latest technology that's available and leveraging new platforms like an Apple iPhone or an Android phone, and changing the interaction with the customer, making it more direct with the customer. This sort of allows the customer to have a more seamless ability to interact with the company, and it gets the company closer to the customer, provides a more direct interaction. And the general feeling and theory, which I've experienced myself, is that this leads to increased revenue for the company because it's a more seamless experience, it's a more enjoyable experience. And there's certainly a number of examples around companies that have done that. I think one would be an experience I had with ExxonMobil, where using their new payment platform that's based on the iPhone, I'm able to pump petrol or gasoline at one of their stations and not have to use my credit card, just use my phone and it's all automatic. It made me a lot closer to ExxonMobil, and I'm much more of a loyal customer to them now because of the ease of use of that and the integration with my day-to-day sort of lifestyle.
My name is Des Pally. I look after sales and business development for Burning Tree. From our perspective, we are a dedicated information security company that effectively does management consulting on the one hand and enterprise software sales on the other. We work with very large banking and multinational organizations, and almost all of them have a digital transformation strategy. A lot of them, a couple of years ago, they'd have talked about a cloud transition strategy and they were looking at how they could use it. Digital transformation to me takes cloud to a much more innovative level. Taking cloud from a straightforward lift and shift into now innovative ways of reducing costs, sweating assets, and driving innovation within organizations. So to give you two examples, we work with a very large bank that is developing a whole global digital platform. That bank has traditionally run its banking services on a three-tier architecture, which means that they had three of everything. And when they looked at the utilization of all of their hardware and services, they were running at between 3 and 10%. Basically what they want to do is throw that at Microsoft and Amazon and say, you worry about the capacity, we'll worry about the service, at the same time as looking at a Netflix model which says Netflix can release a new application to market every 7 minutes. Average banks take 18 months. So digital transformation to them is, how do we get more bang for a buck? How do we make sure that the capacity we require is on demand rather than sitting in a data center that is costing us a fortune? And then alongside that, how do we reduce our time to market and reduce the cost of development of new applications? Because if you build an application that takes 18 months to come to market, it better work. If Netflix build one that takes 7 minutes and it doesn't work, well, who cares? It doesn't matter. We're also working with a very large education company that is transforming itself from being a paper-based publishing house to an online digital education provider, with all of the ramifications of that. The underlying piece that we're trying to work with, which I think is the opportunity for One Identity as they build out the digital transformation program, is around how that compliance, security, and risk management is still maintained when the assets are not directly owned, or the development cycles are now much more rapid, and the ability to build a security platform that is entirely connected is now removed.
I'm Mike Jones. I work for Intragen. We're an identity and access management consultancy company. We've been operating 10 plus years. We've got offices in the UK, Netherlands and Finland. And identity and access is all we do. And our primary focus is on One Identity and the identity management stack, but we also do quite a lot of work with the access management, privileged access management type products as well. There's two aspects to security. Security is often seen as a disabler or a threat, if you like, to the business. And quite often people focus on the threat aspect. But it's almost daily there's something in the press about some kind of threat. We don't need to mention any names, but there's always something that's arising around that. But also, security can be used as a business enabler to enable organisations to move into new markets more rapidly. I think that's where we'll get a lot of our growth from, is just allowing us to deploy solutions more quickly, allowing us to reach markets we couldn't otherwise reach. I think also security and identity particularly has largely been focused at enterprise markets with their enterprise requirements. I think that will move out into more business to consumer type markets, and we do see that separation between business to business or enterprise type identity and business to consumer identity as being a big growth area. And the SaaS cloud integration offerings that are coming on board now are going to make that a lot easier for us to deliver. Cloud is everything these days. Everybody's got some kind of cloud footprint. There was a lot of focus, there has been a lot of focus historically on perimeter. If you protect the perimeter, then people can't get inside your organisation, they can't get access to your data, which is a bit of an irrelevance once most of your data is not in your perimeter anymore, it's outside. So that shift away from focusing on the perimeter to focusing on, well, who has actually got access to my data, where is my data, what are people doing with it, I think is a major trend. And the ability now within the identity management stack to address cloud access, I think is going to make a massive difference. Yeah, so recently a couple of customers have asked us to help on both the internal identity and security side of things, but also to reach out to their customers as well and help with access to the services that organisation's offering. And no customer wants to end up on the front page. Nobody wants to be, facing big fines. And so, particularly for the business to customer type use cases, it's really important that things are done properly and security is embedded in from the ground up.